If you are an agency owner, you know the importance of building really strategic partnerships. And today we are going to give you the inside scoop into a really easy and strategic way to build strategic partnerships for your business. So we have invited Alex Glenn, the founder and CEO of Partnerhub, to give you the inside scoop. He pulls back the curtain, shows you this free platform where you can build and collaborate inside of Partnerhub. And I think you're really gonna love this. And if you use it, you will definitely get value from it, hands down. So let's get into today's episode and introduce you to Alex.
Welcome to the Happy Clients Podcast, brought to you by Dot & Company. Whether you're a virtual assistant, an agency owner, or a client-facing account manager, we all deal with clients. Lucky for you, client management is what we do best. Now, let's dig in, chat cam life, and have some fun along the way. Cheers to happy clients.
Alex, Glenn, why don't you tell us all about Partnerhub and kind of your entrepreneurial life?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Very excited to be here. Myself, I was an agency founder. That's where I got involved in partnerships in the beginning. But I ran an agency, digital marketing. We did B2B demand generation, appointment setting, funnel stuff back in San Diego. That was about 15 years ago now. And I ran that for about 5 or 6 years, enjoyed it, but I got pulled into the SaaS world and became head of growth, head of marketing for a number of startups. So I was working for about 3 or 4 startups through San Diego, moved to Chicago, and then I got into bigger marketplace plays and bigger marketplace companies, and still ran growth, and then started consulting after I was kind of burnt out from that. And I started to realize that there was a big pain point between relationships and the strategy with how two businesses can form an alliance and use it to actually grow together. And I started to see issues mainly between SaaS companies and digital agencies, misalignments and some stuff there that I thought I could help. And I thought I could build something that really made an impact, because I knew there was a ton of value, a ton of potential, but those two sides were just not really aligned most often. And I thought I could build something that could help. So we built partnerprograms.io, which is a community of agencies and a community of SaaS companies. We kind of train and develop both sides and make introductions. And then we developed Partnerhub over the last year and a half, and it finally is in a version now where we're starting to market it more. We're starting to get more agencies on board. And it is a matchmaking solution, a dating tool for partnerships, if you will. And it has a really awesome features to allow you to do day-to-day partnership operations and get ROI from partnerships.
I love it.
That's that.
So can we start by really defining what a partnership looks like for agencies? Like, I know we're talking SaaS, talking relationships, but how would you define that relationship or that partnership? Sorry.
Yeah, and honestly, it's different for everybody. You may be in a relationship with a SaaS company that is really close, and you guys are the experts in that SaaS, that technology, and you are selling service revenue on top of the technology, retainers, projects on top of the technology. That's typical with your HubSpot agencies. I think you guys work with Gray over at ZenPilot. They're deep into the ClickUp ecosystem, and they do ClickUp services, and that's probably 90% of their revenues on top of ClickUp. Those are called power partners in our world, and those are what we hope to find between tech and agencies and hope to help enable. But underneath, or I guess next to all that, are referral partnerships, and then pure co-marketing and co-selling partnerships. And then there's influencers and affiliates, and it goes down and becomes a little bit distributed from there. But the main three I'd say that we try to get agencies to focus on are you going to be an implementation partner of that solution? You could probably figure it out pretty quickly, right? Do you have the chops for it? Are your customers demanding that tool a lot? Would you like more of those types of customers? If all those are yes, then you can see what other agencies are building on top of that solution and see if you want to do the same thing. Implementation expert, certified partner. That's bucket number one. Bucket number two is referrals only, meaning, I like you guys. I think your company's great. We can be referral partners. If you're a tech company and I like your product, but maybe you don't offer the type of technology that really supports a service because you're just a lightweight application and there's not really much I can do on top of your product. I can just refer you business and maybe you incentivize me in different ways, but we're just referring back and forth. I'm not implementing, I'm not an expert. And then bucket number three is, can we just do stuff together to bring pipeline over, right? And that doesn't mean referrals. And this is why it's a different bucket than referrals, is because you and I are doing a podcast together right now. Your audience is going to see this or hear this. They're going to see my URLs or hopefully click my URLs. They're going to be introduced to me. And then if I publish this on my social accounts, if I put this on my blog, my audience is going to be introduced to you. So my audience is somewhere in my pipeline. Hopefully some of those people are. Your audience is somewhere in your pipeline. And now some of my people start showing up in your pipeline and some of your people start showing up in my pipeline. You didn't directly refer any of those people, but because we're doing stuff together, it means that our pipelines are starting to become more and more overlapped, right? We call that account mapping, is a process where you can actually discover what that looks like. The next part of that is actively co-sell. And that's a little bit different than referring. A co-sell is where we get into an actual account-based motion where I want that specific agency in your audience or that specific tech company in your audience. And we figure out a strategy to get me that specific target. And same thing with my audience. You may want one specific account in my audience that's in my pipeline somewhere. And then we devise a strategy to get you that account. So I think agencies should be doing more of that co-selling. I think agencies are great at co-marketing together because most of them are marketing agencies, but co-selling is the other side of that, in that third bucket of let's just do stuff together that can really make partnerships become revenue, which is what we all want.
I love it. Can we dig into this a little bit more? So let's say us as an example, I'm like, hey, I want more agencies who looking for account management. You're looking for more agencies who are in growth and want partnerships. On Partnerhub, how does this look or how does this work? Can you give us like an insight or maybe a screen share of what this looks like?
Yeah, definitely. So I'll give you an insight real quick while I log in and show you what it looks like inside. Thanks for allowing me to do that. That's pretty cool. But the problem with partnerships in that whole world, all three of those buckets is a couple things. Communication is the number one issue that our agencies tell us is the reason why they're either frustrated with partnerships or they haven't seen much from partnerships. That's number one. Number two is reciprocation. Why aren't you giving me anything? I've sent you business. Why aren't you sending me business? And then three, I believe we asked this as a survey when we onboard agencies. I think number three is support. That kind of falls under communication a little bit, but it's more like I decided to go down the partnership track with you. I had a client that was actually onboarding into your software, and you told me that I was going to get extra support as a partner. But when that client needed something, I didn't know who to reach out to. The person I reached out to wasn't the right person, and the client had a bad experience. So you're not giving me what I need in order to feel confident to sell my services on top of your product. I don't feel like you're giving me that level of support. But in practice, the way the application works, it works like a matchmaking system where the agencies see a backlog of tech partners that sell to the same customer profile. So when you onboard, you give us your customer profile, the app will curate a backlog for you. So you open up these profiles and you see what the product does for you as an agency up here. These are all the things they'll kind of do for you to make it an easy decision to take the next step. And this is who they sell to. This is a little bit about their program for agencies. They mentioned things like co-marketing. This is great. The live offer where they're willing to take an e-commerce agency and put them in a podcast. Killer. You can just get into that live offer. And now you're in bucket number, bucket number 3, where you're just doing something together like this podcast here with this company, and you're vetting them, meaning you don't know what you're going to do next. You don't know if you're going to go into bucket number 2, which is referrals, or bucket number 3, which is implementation, but you're going to bring them in for lunch and learn. You're going to get some co-marketing done. You're going to map accounts. That's what we talked about, to see if there's any overlap. And then you're going to start exploring the application a little more to see if you want to become an implementation partner. Get a free account or sandbox account, get your team to play around with it. And maybe you get all the way through to trusted partner status, which could be one of those 3 buckets. It doesn't have to be implementation partner. Then from there, you are managing the partnership. So you have other projects that you're doing with the partner. So you're either onboarding them into a co-selling routine, onboarding them into a co-marketing routine, running an event with partners. Maybe you are just needing to do document exchange, create tasks for your partners. Everyday partner management is all here. And then of course, referral tracking, the big one. I'm going to send you referrals. I want to track that. I want to have my own central source of truth. Same thing with received referrals. I want to know who's sending me what. And then I want to update you on the status of that referral and make sure that you know that they're in this pipeline stage and it's worth that much for me. And this is more for agency to agency stuff, because you guys sending referrals to each other tends to get lost in email threads and maybe CRM notes. But most of our agencies don't have a central source of truth for all of their partnerships, all of their referral partnerships in one place, tech and other agencies. And further, they can do things like submit opportunities for the entire ecosystem. They can say, we've got a project that we need help with, and we're interested in handing this off. We want a kickback for it. It's an e-commerce project, and here's a little bit more about it, and here's some stipulations. Submit that to the entire ecosystem. And then if they want specific partner types, they can go into the marketplace and they can sort by tech or agency that sell to a certain vertical, that sell to a specific client size, that work inside of an ecosystem. So if Gray was in here, he would go in here and he'd look at maybe just those who work inside the ClickUp ecosystem. And he would reach out to them and say, hey, I'm a ClickUp expert and our agency does ClickUp work. I saw you guys were working inside of ClickUp, but you're doing PPC stuff or you're doing XYZ. I'd love to work with you guys in some way, shape, or form to, you know, refer some business, because Gray's clients are probably in need of PPC. Gray doesn't do PPC. And then this agency's clients may want their help with ClickUp, but they're not that great at ClickUp implementation. So they'd refer to Gray, and they create a referral relationship using this system here. And it's all in one place. And the beauty is both sides of the partnership are in here. It's not your CRM where it's just you and your team. It is a PRM that has a marketplace behind it. So everybody's using the same solution, which makes communication, partner enablement, activation, all of those keywords that partner managers struggle with. It makes all of those a lot easier in general.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me show that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, if we want to do any specific examples that you think are relevant for your audience, we can go into more specific examples, but I think that kind of is the general gist of just partnership operations and what you should try to do with it, those 3 buckets, and how you should go about doing partnerships in general, right?
So what are some of the goals that an agency should have before even thinking about getting started with partnerships? You know, because even for us, we have a number of referral partners who are amazing, but those were like relationships first. So like, what do you recommend in terms of like reaching out and like getting that relationship started?
Yeah, great question. So, you know, whether you do it in Partnerhub or you do it on LinkedIn or you do it through email or Slack, if plenty of us are in different Slack groups that have agencies, you know, always reach out with the specific intention of what you want to do with that partner. I think too many people are just like, hey, I saw you post this and I think we should be partners. That's not enough. You want to make sure that you're not wasting people's time and that you have a specific idea in mind. So, you know, you've got a podcast, you can reach out with a first touch of, I saw you doing great stuff. Let's get you on the podcast. And then as you kind of meet each other and start to realize what you both do and research a little bit, then you have something specific that you think can be next. That next thing is like, I saw you were talking about revenue operations, or I saw you were talking about this specific keyword. And actually, you know, we have a need to also talk about that keyword and become experts in that keyword. My thought is, I'm really good at creating content. You seem to have a good voice and a good audience. Why don't we collaborate on something, a white paper, a video that explains the tactics for blank, something that can be used again to get us in front of your audience and you in front of our audience. And then, of course, there's specific people next. So after you've gotten that thing done and you start to trust each other and you start to realize there's value, and then you have that specific sort of objective with that partner. So that partner is going to help you get deeper into that keyword, that whatever it is. Then you say, okay, well, under that keyword, we're actually trying to approach this specific account to get them as a client using that keyword, you know, call it PPC for e-commerce, or call it SEO for this, or call it whatever. You're trying to get that account under that keyword. And then it comes into, okay, well, do you know that account? Anyone at that account? Are you connected with them on LinkedIn? Can we make warm introductions? Sometimes that'll fall flat. Sometimes maybe they do have it and they're willing to make a warm introduction. But if not, then it comes into a co-selling motion. We do this with our partners all the time. So if a new tech company comes into our ecosystem, same with agencies, our goal is to make matches as quick as possible to make them happy and stay in our ecosystem, of course. So if their specific agency target partners are not in Partnerhub, we'll do anything we can to go out and get them at least into Partnerhub. We're not going to connect them directly to that new tech company, but we're going to get them in the marketplace and the ecosystem so that they at least are in there and can shop for that tech company and find that tech company. And then, of course, the tech company thanks us for all that sort of matched work, and then they stay in our ecosystem. Same thing with the agencies. If an agency's in there and they don't see their specific targets, we'll go out and we'll find them together. So that's kind of where the partnership motion comes in, is like, who do we both want? How can we both go after them together? I'll try to connect with them on LinkedIn. You do the same. If I feel like I can make an email work, meaning I can send them an email and get them into a demo or a call, I'll do that. And then after I know them and I meet them as your partner, I know if I refer them back to you, you're going to do the same for me in the future. You're going to refer me someone. So again, it takes specific ideas that sort of start the relationship. Then it takes creativity to figure out what more can we do together. And then the rubber meets the road with specific account-based targeting. How can we get after those accounts? That's the way to make a cold new partnership outreach sort of system work for you.
And to piggyback on that, Alex, what is a success story? Of course, this is so valuable to like so many agency owners, for sure, people, you know, kind of in the space, but let's brag a little bit. Alex, what's kind of the success story of Partnerhub, or where you've really seen sort of those connections really thrive, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, well, what's great about us is it's new. So everything is a success story. I mean, we are not another blank solution. We are a brand new type of solution that nobody has experienced before. Mm-hmm. So they come in thinking one thing, and then as soon as they start developing their account and they get that first alert and conversations start happening, and, you know, all the light bulbs go off and they're like, this is incredible. And they want to do more of it. And they get sort of addicted to partnering, which is great for us. So yeah, I mean, the agencies, I think the best thing that we've discovered is that agencies without Partnerhub, for the most part, the majority, some agencies do partnerships really well and they have an operation for it and it's part of their growth, but most agencies no. So we get lots of great agencies that say the same thing. No, we haven't considered partnerships. We just haven't looked into it for whatever reason, right? And then we see them for the partnership face value. So we see the services they offer. We see what they kind of are specializing in and their branding. We look at all these things and we say, you know what, you could be a killer partner for any of these types of agencies. these tech companies have these co-marketing opportunities that we can feed you into right now. And let's just get started. And we recommend, don't think about it like I need to do all this stuff and have everything going. Just have conversations. Everybody's going to have a different idea of what the partnership could be. You be the judge of whether or not that's going to be worth your time or not, but have the conversations. And then just like any relationships, it's like, as long as you have a little bit of self-interest, but are willing to reciprocate, you should be able to get value out of every single relationship that you start. And then, of course, use Partnerhub to manage that all. So then they go and they start these conversations, and then it's like, like I mentioned, they get really sort of addicted to partnering, and they want to do more of it, and they want to get involved in all the ecosystems. And then they get really busy, and then they have to back off a little bit, and then they just double down and they say, what, I've done a lot of conversations. Now I know that I need to focus on this specific avenue. And that could be a doubling down on an ecosystem like ClickUp or HubSpot or whatever, or doubling down on a specific agency type that they want to build referral relationships with, like development agencies or marketing agencies or whatever. And then they just slowly back into a routine and rinse and repeat that routine. And then they hire someone to do it. And we've seen that happen a lot, where all of a sudden CEO will have been doing partnerships, taking our introductions, and then they email us like, I'm getting too busy, but I've got someone I've just hired as our first partner manager. And when an agency hires a partner manager, that's killer for us.
Yeah.
And just a good sign in general.
A definite success. Yeah. And even having a dedicated person to all the moving pieces, I'm sure, is just a win on your side as well. So that's awesome.
Yeah. And the advice is for agencies out there, you don't need a financial person, a CFO type individual in your agency until you need one. And with partnerships, the operations of partnerships can be distributed amongst multiple team members. A good example of that is most agencies, after about, I'd say 10 employees, have some marketing person and probably have some revenue leader on their team. Have the marketing person involve your partners in your marketing. And one of their KPIs is how many big domains have we been included in? How many backlinks do we actually have from top tech domains? Agency domains are usually low domain authority, not a lot of traffic. Tech companies that you want to partner with have high domain authority and high traffic. So you just say, marketing person, you are not a partnerships person. It doesn't matter. You're creating content. Instead of just focusing on creating content for our blog and getting more stuff on our blog, one of your KPIs is backlinks from tech companies. So go out, figure out what we can do on guest posts, figure out what, I'm the CEO, I'll lend my strategy to any blogs that you think are a good fit. Just tell me what I need to do, and let's get our brand, our backlinks into these other articles and other domains out here. And you're doing marketing. I didn't tell you to do partnerships. I didn't take you away from marketing. You're just adding a KPI of partnerships links or partnership led marketing, whatever you want to call it. And then same thing with the revenue side. Do sales, just include partners in that sales routine. Map accounts, do warm introductions, work the sales channels that your partners have already developed. And then same thing, include them in ours any way you can. And you're just collaborative selling. You're not changing your role. Then when you have 50 partners and the 50 partners are asking you to do more stuff together, more people are asking for partnerships. So you have to vet those. And then you have to schedule lunch and learns, and you have to get people into blog posts, and you have to get people into your account mapping solution, then hire a partner manager. But not until you have those 50 active sort of partners.
That's a good benchmark.
Yeah, I was going to say too, Alex, maybe for someone, and I don't want to say someone like me, but somebody who's a little green to the space, someone just coming in, like sees so much value in something like Partnerhub, seeing so much value in these relationships. How do you even get started? Like, is there a support team? They're going to walk me through, they're going to tell me what to do. Is there sort of that support piece that kind of newbies coming into it can use?
Yeah, we have a community that has pre-recorded courses, and we do live workshops every week. Most of it is general agency stuff, but some of it is partnership specific stuff. And the pre-recorded stuff, we have a course, a masterclass on co-selling. So if you've never heard that term or you don't know what it is, you can take that course. We make ourselves available is the big thing. So like any agency in our network is valuable to us. We want to make sure they have success. We want to make sure they find partners. So we absolutely give our time. I have a dedicated person for agencies. So any agencies coming into our network, they all know the ones that are in here. We are available in Slack. We give our calendars and we'll strategize with them. We'll even go through a whole list of potential partners. We'll show them where to find them, how to actually reach out. We'll give them the strategy and help them any way we can. So yeah, our whole system and our ecosystem, and it's all free, by the way. We're not charging agencies for any of this. So they can come in and get partnerships and find value and get help all day long.
Awesome. Amazing. Well, this was super insightful. I'm
Totally.
sure, Katie, your head's like,
Yeah.
all these things we need to check out, which is amazing. But thank you so much, Alex, for hopping on. We're going to link everything below where people can find you and how to get access to Partnerhub and kind of get some of those trainings and get signed up. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm going to send you some links here that they can use. The sign up link, free account, Partnerhub. Above that is the co-selling course. You do have to sign up for the community. It's free, but just put your name and email or LinkedIn. And then above that is just the all courses area, so they can check out the courses that we have on just all things agency life.
Cheers to happy clients.